Good morning. Um, it is now 8:26 a.m. I woke up quite a few times last night, or this morning before day, because I was under such a tight. My tights has gotten worse since PWC put some type of pipe or something up under the ground, and some men put some type of pipe down at the end of the street, and my tights has gotten worse. I am really in the back of my head is really hurting. I slept in my bedroom this morning. First, I was where I normally sleep at in the living room, and I wake up under a type, and so I would move. I kept moving until I ended up coming in my bedroom. But in here, the type is worse through the whole house. Um, I was in my sister's room last night, but yesterday. It seemed like when it first got dark, and I could hear some type of wheels rolling. And it sounded like how it sound when we be pulling our trash bin up front to take the trash around front so the trash man could pick it up. And so when I heard it, I looked out the window, I didn't see nothing. Then I was in the living room and I could hear something up in the ceiling. And it sounded like it was more than one person up there. And I don't know if they putting something up under the house. I actually think, like I said before, I think they got dug a hole, trench, however you say it, from that house, the burnt house, to over here. And I think what the wheel sounding is maybe they pushed themselves from over there to over here. And they're getting in the top of the house. There got to be something up under a place up under the house where they can get up in the ceiling from under the house, because the other house that where we moved from, there was a possum, and the possum could get up in the ceiling from under the ground, from up under the house, because he would get up under the house through the vents. He had tore the vents up, and I had them to fix the vents, and I stopped hearing him up in the ceiling, but then I started hearing something up there with boots. So I'm thinking that some kind of way they can get. I don't know, because I had locked it, but it was a while before I locked that crawl space. So I don't know how these people getting up in the ceiling. I really don't. So this guy told me that they cut a little place up in the roof where they can come and go. And I did see, I did make videos of that. The house across the street from us, where those girls, there was a house not directly in front of us, but beside it. A bunch of girls would be there. And I did see them fixing the roof, not the whole entire roof, just part of it in the back of the roof. I do have that on video. But every time I see something that they're doing, I video it or take pictures, because I know they're doing something that is either against us or cover up for themselves. So that's what they were doing, and it took them a whole day to rewire the porch light, because it's not just a regular porch light. I have that on video too. But right now, I think they were putting stuff up in the ceiling and up under this floor. But I think it has something to do with the water. Whatever what they put down on the ground, because they stopped it up. They stopped from down there in front of the house where that man with the red truck. Um, they went down and they did some digging. After they did all that digging, everything in this house stopped up. Molds, the bathtub, everything stopped up. And so we called the real estate people, and the real estate people sent some men here. So they cleaned it out from this yard. But they were saying there was something going on out in the streets. So they checked the manholes that was over here, and they were saying they see something going on. But I don't think they see nothing going on. What I think they seen was they need to put something down there to attack us, to cause things. And I don't know if it's something in the water, because I started getting this itch in my hair. And I shampooed my hair, but I've been getting this really bad itch in my head. So I can't say exactly what's going on because I don't know. I can just say what's happening to me. And right now, I could tell that they are this energy goes in my private area. It swells up my stomach. My stomach is just swollen. I've never in all my life had a big look at my stomach. This is what they do. They doing this to me. This is not coming from food. I don't eat that much. This is coming from this energy. Whatever this energy is that's coming up from through this floor, I can look at my stomach every day and tell that it's swollen some more. They're attacking my throat. My tongue gets numb, and I'm feeling it in the back of my head. Whatever it is, and my these bags under my eyes, because they dehydrating me. Because they are dehydrating me. I can feel a burning inside my body. It's a weird feeling, but it's a burning, but it's a weird feeling burning. There's no vents. Nowhere right here. All the vents is over there on that side of the house. None over here. But this energy is coming up through this floor. So what this is that's coming up through this floor, I don't know. What it's doing to me, I don't know. But I don't want some lying doctor trying to give it um, a medical name, because that's what they're doing. They said my sister had Alzheimer's. First they said pigs. Now they saying Alzheimer's. This, what they doing to me, is what was done to her. She told me years ago that she hear wind, and it's in her medical record. Wherever they put her medical record, I don't know, because her doctor is dead. With her information, but he could have told the truth, and he could have, no, but he made money off her every single time that my nephew took her to the doctor. He had to pull out $300 cash money before she got her insurance and stuff right. So he was just making money off of her. So what is he making now that he dead? Now she got a new doctor. He trying to say she had a stroke. It's not no stroke. These people are still attacking her. They attack until you dead, and then they celebrate your death. This is what these people do. These people that follow us, because we don't move her 3 times. My house is still the same, but they doing the same thing to me at my house. Every time I go home, I'm feeling this air coming up from under this ground. They just did this year, 2022. They wasn't there, and I've been here at that house 6 years, going on 7. It's been 7. It could be 7. But I had that same house for 6 or 7 years. I was being attacked, but not from under the ground. These people were sending something, hitting me. So I don't know if it was coming from the towers or what. All I know, I was being hit in my stomach. They keep attacking my stomach. Now my stomach just big. the weight that I am. I wasn't even this weight or this heavy when I was pregnant with my children. None of my children did I reach this weight. This is coming from what these people is putting in my body. What they putting in me, the purpose of it, I don't know. I'm just letting it be known that they're able to send stuff through your homes. Whether you feel it or not, I've been activated. People that they call talking to individuals, we've been activated. That's why we feel everything. Everything they do to us, we feel it so that they can make us look crazy. Look at my eyes. My eyes probably make me look like I'm crazy, but I'm just dehydrated. This is what they're doing to me. And then your family don't care. And that's what that's the point of it. That nobody believe you because they don't feel it. They in this house, they people in this house, they can't feel what I feel. They can't feel what my sister can feel. I remember she don't even walk no more. Now she getting what she don't want to eat. I have to make her eat. She just here, just alive for them to keep making money off her because they keep attacking her. When I'm in her room trying to feed her and trying to bathe her, my feet is burning. And this heat, whatever this heat is, clings to your feet. I have had to put ice on my feet to cool it down. Put ice on my spine to cool it down because they are tight. They use your spine and your hair as antennas because they want to take your brain and put it in a supercomputer so they can send your information all over the world because we in a system. This is all over the world, people. This is bringing in the one world order. The war, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter. All this stuff is connected. All of it is connected. George Floyd, that protests, all that stuff that happened, it had nothing to do with black people. Nothing. Black matter. Black matter. Demonic. Had nothing to do with black lives. People. What did we get out of it? Nothing. Not one thing. Made us look bad. Because they thinking black people just crazy and wild animals. But these was witches. Witches. Out there chanting and writing spells. Because they was calling up demons. And I kept saying this something ain't right with this thing. It just don't seem right. A police just kill a man right on camera. And he see people videoing it. And he just killed a man right on camera. And he not the only one. There were other polices. And I just couldn't understand what's going on. These police are killing black men right on camera. It's like the man that was selling the cigarettes up in New York. And they were going to arrest him. But you arrest people by like this him. They arrested him right around there because he ended up dead. Because these people are calling up demons. That's the black lie. Black matter. Open portals. Open portals. I listened to a man, his name is Friends. I don't know what that man name. This man is smart, I tell you. Because in videos last night, and for the last 2 nights, I've been looking at him. All the things I was saying don't make no sense. He made sense to it. He answered everything that I've been saying. Something ain't right with this. Something ain't right with this. That man is smart. It's not that he's smart. God is giving it to him. He's not taking credit. He said he been studying 40 years this stuff. He been following this stuff for 40 years. But he been praying and God been giving him the answers. France Code. What is that man? I'm gonna look it up. But I put his name on the last video that I did. But I know what I do whenever what did I just do? Oh, I'll put it in the up under the description box. I put his at least one of his videos links in the description box because this man is really smart and we need to hear him. We need to hear this man because he don't figure this stuff out. But he didn't figure it out. God did. God, he praying and asking God questions and God giving him answers. And he answering the thing that I've been asking. And it's really just amazing. Just amazing. How some people just so connected to God, God just give them answers. That's how I used to be before I messed up. And now they got me all full of technology. This is their plan to keep us from hearing from God. And like people that's doing the fix. You know what I'm talking about, the fix. That's doing it too. Keeping people from being able to hear from God. Because even priests are beginning to complain. Since they took the fix, they can't hear from God. But before they took the fix, they should have asked God. They should have asked God. Because I knew not to take it. And I'm not hearing. You know what? I really am hearing from God. It's just in a different way. That's why I know the things that is just not right. Something just ain't right. And I'll be close to getting it. I'll be close to getting it. But I just don't get it pinpoint because it's got numbers. It's dealing with numbers. Because God, people say God don't work with people with numbers. That's a lie. That is a lie. That is a trick from the devil. There's certain things that witches and people like that do. And they say, they trying to say that we're not supposed, but God is dealing with us with some of the things because they doing it. That's how we figure out what they doing. If they using numbers, how are we gonna figure out what they doing if we don't use numbers? This man used numbers and he figuring it out. And God is giving him this stuff. All people, so many people that using numbers stuff, they may not be hearing from God, but I do believe he is. He's one that I believe he is. Because everything he said just clicked to me. And I believe it. I do believe it. I've seen other people that using numbers. Um, I don't follow them. I have listened to some of these stuff, but they just some things just don't seem right. I listen to a person for a little while. When I start seeing something else just don't seem right, then I just back away. But this man here, he got it on pinpoint. He got it on pinpoint. He was talking about 50 Cent. You just don't think that everybody, but that's why they still famous. They ain't dead. See Prince, Michael Jackson, what's her name? Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina, President Kennedy, Martin Luther King. See, these people began to speak out against what they were doing. And they have to shut them up. And the only way to shut them up is to kill them. But see, now they so close to where they trying to get to it don't matter. Because they feel that they're going to win. But they're not. It's already written. It's already spoken. God has spoken. And when God speaks, there's no lie in what he say. He's not a man that he shall lie. So everything that the Bible's talking about that haven't come to pass is coming to pass. It's coming to pass. Something we thinking is going to actually happen, but it's coming in symbols. It's coming in symbols, and even to the point where the locusts coming up from hell, he was showing, wow, he was showing that this stuff is coming through symbols. Because I've been thinking it was coming, and it may still come, but they bringing in symbols. See, they trying to bring the Bible to pass in symbolism. But God may, it's possible what God's saying about the locusts coming, biting people, or stinging people for 3 months. People gonna want to die and can't. They gonna want to die, and death won't come. They're gonna receive. Okay. Um, there are things that's gonna come. I want to make sure I'm on the right side because I don't want the stuff that's coming. Um, I don't. I haven't really um, figured out yet if the rapture is gonna be before tribulation or after tribulation. I know they're gonna be one after tribulation, but when they're talking about Jesus coming to the earth, I know one is saying Jesus gonna meet the saints in the sky, but then he gonna come on the earth. I know after tribulation, those who are still here and they die for the purpose, they'll be resurrected. But then the church, when he come to get his bride, I kind of get mixed up on it. Because to me, it seems like they're going to be two different events. One where they're going to be the catching up in the sky, and they're going to be one after the tribulation. After the tribulation, people are going to die because they're going to still be Christian people here, and they're going to have to fight, and they're going to be people that's going to die because they're not going to take the mark of the beast. They're not going to take the mark of the beast, and people are going to die. There's going to be some hard times, real hard times. And I do believe they're going to be giants here. I do believe like they're going to use those super soldiers. I believe they're going to be people that's going to be half this and half that. Because the Bible says that as the days of Noah, people are going to be uh, just living, sinning. He ain't going to try to, Noah preached for 120 days. I mean, not days, 120 years. And out of 120 years, these people didn't change. And people not changing now because they like sin. They think they're happy. That sin feel good to them. But that sin gonna cost them their soul salvation. People just won't listen. They won't listen. Because they too much into their flesh. I lived that way at one time. I did. You really have to get into the word in order for the word to cleanse you and to wash you. Or have the word in you. When I decided I wanted to be close to God, God had been calling me. And when I would go to church, I couldn't hear nothing. I mean, I could hear his voice, but I couldn't understand what he was saying. So it won't really get into me. Why preachers need to stop all this hooping and hollering and all this doing all that kind of stuff. so people can hear what you're saying. Stop making it a, a, a show. Just speak. And if the power of God come on you, your voice might get louder. Then let it get louder. Don't be doing all this hooking and just talking in a way where people can't hear what you're saying. People getting all excited. That's just a show. You're not hearing what he's saying. It's just the point that where he getting the pastor's thought or whoever the preaching get to doing a certain thing that they just get to standing up and doing all this type of stuff. But you don't know what he's talking about. I remember I used to go to a church, and I think the preacher kind of got mad because every time I go, I would never stand up, and because I didn't see what they were standing up. I won't hear him what he was saying. I could hear his voice, but I didn't know what the words was. It's called the enemy cut my ears off of hearing him. So once I did get into the church, and I mean, one time I went to that church, and there was another preacher there, and he didn't do all that hucking and stuff, but my nose started bleeding. I don't know. That's the only time I know that did it. I don't know what was going on. So I stood by the door because every time I would go in and sit down, my nose would bleed. To this day, I don't know what was going on. Why my nose kept bleeding. What was happening. And it seemed like I was being disobedient because he was telling people to sit down. But I couldn't sit down because my nose was bleeding. So I stood up at the door and I could hear what he was saying. So I don't know what it was that was going on in that church. But it was a church a friend of mine went to. And she would pick me up. I'd go to church. Because at the time, I really wasn't in the church and stuff like that. And when I started actually, confess Christ, repent of my sins, because I did a lot of sinning, the church was where I could walk to. And I started going to that church. But then I started going to another church, which I could walk, but it was a longer walk. That's the church I joined. And I went there for some years. And then I started going to a church where it was in this house. And that's why I kind of felt like they was my spiritual parents. I got close to them. See, like every church I went to, though, like the enemy was trying to turn the people against me. And then I found out these men were following me to the churches. They were the one that was turning the people against me. I don't know who these men was. I had no idea who they were, but they was following me to church and tell the pastors that I didn't believe in tithing. Now, how they know that? I don't even know them. How they know what I believe in? And what makes it so bad, I was paying a tithe. Well, I was paying pretty much. I paid it as my offering. That's what you got. What I paid, it wasn't quite 10%. What I call myself doing, I would take maybe $1 or $2, because I believe you can pay a tithe. But I don't believe in the way they preach it, that if you don't pay a tithe, you curse with a curse. That's not true. That was true for the Old Testament because God commanded the Levites, not the Levites, the Israelites to pay a tithe to the Levites. That's not for the New Testament because we're not even under the Levitical priesthood. Our priesthood is Melchizedek. Our Most High Priest is Melchizedek. And I done started on something else. But Jesus' priesthood is Melchizedek because he's a king and he's a priest at the exact same time. He wasn't a Levite. He came from the tribe of Judah. Praise. So these preachers are telling lies because they want money. Instead of just saying we're gonna pay a tithe, it's not commanded, but we're gonna pay a tithe because we have to pay bills. And these bills are not gonna all be on me, the pastor. That's all they got to say. I had one pastor gonna call me up. First of all, she gonna touch me. You wrong for that. Because if you trying to get information out of me, all you have to do, she was pretending she was asking about my granddaughter. But what she was doing, she had her hands on me the whole time she talked to me. Well, I'm a grown woman. I was in my 50s. I'm older than you are. Don't disrespect me that way. But when she called me and was saying that she heard, she heard I don't believe in tithing. And I told her, well, that's not what my belief is. I don't believe in the way it's being taught. Because you can pay your tithe, you can pay a tenth if you want to. If that's what you want to do, then do it. You can pay 12%, 13%, 14, 15. You can pay 20%. You can't. We could never outgive God. And I said, well, no, that's not what my belief is. And I said, I don't believe. I said, I don't believe in the way they teach it. And she gonna tell me what I believe in. She said, well, you saying you don't believe in tithing. I said, that's not what I said. You know, I said, that's not what I said. I said, I don't believe in the way it's being taught. She said, well, what do you believe in? I said, I believe that you can pay a tithe if you want to, but I don't believe that you'll be cursed. Well, that's not biblical. What they saying ain't biblical either. That God is commanding the church to pay a tithe because there's no Levites. Pastors are not Levites. They're not priests. The Levitical. They're not the children of Levi. But as long as I'm paying it, it don't matter what my belief is. But my belief is I'm not gonna pay a tithe and offering. And that's my belief right there. Because I got to live. I'm on set income. I don't have that kind of money where I can just pay tithes and offerings. When I give you 10% or close right at 10% of my money, that's both of them. That's a tithe and an offering, however you want to take it. It's all I have. And I have to make sure that I can pay, I can have somewhere to live so I won't be homeless. I don't have a car. They driving around with nice cars. They got nice houses. I don't have that. I have nothing really. And then I'm paying my money in church. And when when I need prayer, I can't even get it. I'm being disrespected because somebody is following me to the churches. And these men got on robes. Every one of them that I seen that were men had on robes. But there were some women that went to one church. There were some strange people in these churches that I seen them one time. And I think they was sent to turn the pastor against me. I know there was some women that went to one church. They weren't dressed in bro. They dressed in regular clothes. About maybe two or three of them. And then my pastor started looking at me weird. And I looked back at him. He's standing there staring at me. I'm staring back at him. I think that was the last time I went to that church. Like I said, the knowledge that I have, I didn't get it from going to church. I got it from studying at home and praying and asking God for understanding. I would just be in agreement with the pastor when he preached. And if he preaching right, which that pastor, he was preaching from his college, because he taking psychiatry or something. He was taking psychology or some psychology. So he preaching from his psychology books against what the Bible was saying. That's why you have to study this word for yourself, so you can be following anything. Now, which I'm seeing a lot of people following this. You got people that got all this good information. People trying to go back to Africa. People trying to talk about praying to the ancestors and all this type of stuff. That is some crazy stuff. How are you going to pray to dead people? What can they do? If they could answer you, they probably still be on earth. You think they want to be dead? Especially if they won't save. You're praying to demons, familiar spirits with your family. That's who you're seeing. If anybody show up, it's a demon. It ain't no family member. People, I'm just seeing people just do some most. I said, Lord have mercy, help people. Because they want to be connected to Africa. And Africa just a land, a continent. You got people in Africa leaving Africa. So why y'all trying to go back to where they trying to get away from? You black, you no matter where you can go to Hawaii, you can go to Europe, you can go to Germany, you can go to Russia. You're gonna still be black. Your blackness ain't going nowhere.